Hey guys, Scarlet Darkwood here. Hope everyone's had a good week. I want to start off by saying that if you are watching this video and you think you're going to get more jewelry projects on this channel, I hate to disappoint you, you're probably not going to find it here. If you want to watch the video and learn something, and if you decide you like the rest of what my videos are, then please subscribe. Otherwise, the reason I'm showing these 4 sets of videos, or 5, I can't remember, but anyway, those videos used to be out when I had my shop, and we just closed that recently. And I wanted to share the videos again because they're beginning jewelry classes. And a lot of people who practice the occult or who are into metaphysics, a lot of times they like to wear jewelry. They like to make their own pieces, choose their own stones, create their own designs because it has meaning to them. So the next series of videos, I'm going to have a playlist for it. It's for those who want to make their own pieces, and the techniques are just techniques. I'm not making any project, but I'm showing you how to use the tools, what they are. And the other videos are going to be about making simple wire loops if you want to make earrings, how to string beads if you want to make a necklace or a bracelet, and I'm even going to have my video on pearl knotting. And what's nice about that is you can watch that video and knot anything. You can knot gemstones, pearls, whatever you would like. So if you want to make some malas and use a cord that's more drapey and softer than flex wire to do regular necklaces and bracelets, you can do that too. I've put time codes in the description so that you can cut right to the start of when I start teaching the class. So I hope everyone enjoys this series, and if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any projects or things you think you want me to try to teach you, I can definitely try to do that. You can definitely email me and we can talk about it. So hope everyone enjoys the video series, and if you make some pretty pieces, please email me some pictures. I would love to see them, and I may show them on my videos. Have a great week. Enjoy the beginning jewelry classes. Jewelry crafting is one of the top crafts in America, and it's a great way to release your imagination and stimulate your creativity. Every craft has its set of tools, and I'm going to show you the bare minimum that you must have for your toolbox to do the most basic designs. Let's talk about crimping pliers. These pliers have 2 grooves. If you'll notice the inner one, there's a notch that will be used to bend what is known as a crimp bead. The outer notch will be used to finish off that crimp bead. That'll make more sense as we discuss this later on. This is a subject we will revisit. But you will need a pair of crimping pliers. Our next set of pliers are called round nose pliers. And the ends are just simply round cones. And these pliers are used for making nice round loops. And if you will notice, there are no flat surfaces for gripping. These are used for loop making, and that is a must-have for your toolbox. Our next set of pliers are called chain nose pliers. And these look like pliers that you find around the house, except there's no teeth. If you'll notice, the insides are very smooth, and they're used for gripping. They're also used for opening and closing jump rings or any kind of loops. And you will also need this tool for bending your wires, for holding things, and various other activities. Again, these are called chain nose pliers. Last of all, we have cutters. What I have here are called angled flush cutters. And these are used to get to a really close cutting surface when you're cutting wire or trimming off an end piece. And you'll notice that the heads are slightly angled upwards. And this will allow you to get close to a crimp bead, to cut off excess wire, or to get close to a surface so that you can have a nice, clean, close cut. So what you will want for cutters are called angled flush cutters. I'm going to show you how to make a wrapped coil. This will allow you to connect components that will never come off. It's a great way to secure your jewelry, and if you want it to last longer, you will want to make wrapped loops. I'm using just some simple craft wire. from a spool here. Your average gauges of wire that you will be using for jewelry is about 20 or 22 gauge. If you're using really tiny beads such as pearls, you might be using 24 or 26 gauge wire. I'm using 20 because I'm using some pretty thick beads, and especially for this demonstration. You will want to keep in mind the size of your bead. You want at least 2 or 3 inches on either side of your bead, plus the size of your bead length. If I have a bead that's an inch long, I'll probably want 6 or 7 inches of wire. The beads I'm going to be using are a little bit smaller. They're anywhere from a 1/2 inch or so to 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to cut roughly 5 inches of wire, 6. I'm taking a guess here. And I'm going to make a loop on one end. Now the thing I want to do is I want to come down a little bit because I want to make sure I have a tail that I can wrap. If it's too close or too tight, that becomes tricky. If you're experienced and you're really good at it, then not a problem. But when you're just beginning, you want to leave yourself some ample room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch this in my pliers, and I'm going to push away from me at a 90-degree angle like this. I'm then going to hold my wire with my other hand and lay my pliers down and replace them with the round nose pliers by putting them in the little bend that I've made. I'm now going to come back around. I'm going to put some force to this so that I shape this wire around these mandrels, or around these little cones. And I'm going to take this tail and bring it to the back of this long stem away from me at a 90-degree angle. And as you can see, I've made a loop here. I've bent my loop back around. And I'm going to catch it right here with my pliers. And I'm just going to simply take the tail, get a good little grip, and I'm going to just wrap it. I'm going to just layer it, lay each little piece beside itself. That's the key to some good wrapping. You don't have to rush. And I've decided to wrap a couple of times. And I'm going to cut. See, I've made 2 little wraps. And then I'm going to take my flush cutters. As you can see, I can get really close. I'm going to hold my thumb so I don't pop myself in the eye, and I'm going to cut. Probably going to take this, it's a little bent. I'm just going to straighten it up just a little. And then I'm going to take my chain nose and mash these ends down so that I don't stick myself. They can scratch you. Now I'm going to add a nice little blue bead here. This is just some crystal, Chinese crystal. And I'm going to make another loop. I'm going to go on the top of this bead. And you'll want to keep in mind the amount of space that you want to fill up as you wrap. The farther back I go into these pliers, the more I'm going to have to wrap. If I go here, I may find it difficult to wrap the coil because there's no room. So I'm just kind of going to go midway here. I'm going to push away from me. Take out my pliers, replace these with my round nose, and I'm going to push back again in the opposite direction, like this, back around, and bring my wire like this, just behind the bead and behind that stem. And now I'm ready to wrap. Going to bring this down just like this and just layer it. Now I'm going to cut it like this. I've made a couple of wraps. Cut the excess wire, and I am going to squeeze. I can take my pliers here and straighten up. So I've made a loop here and here. Takes a little practice to get these just so. And if I want to hook another component, I do the same thing again. I'm going to show you what you can do though if you want to add a component real quick. I'm going to straighten my wire. When you cut it off, it's usually bent, so you just want to straighten everything. I'm going to make another loop, push away from me, replace with the round nose, go back in the opposite direction, putting some force behind that wire and shaping it to that little loop. Now, when I go to put this on, it doesn't want to go on. So I just want to open this just a little bit and slip this on. It slipped on. So now I'm going to catch this like this. And I'm just going to wrap just like this. And you just layer it. And whoops, nice and even. It wants to slip a little on me. And I'm going to stop. Cut. And press down. And so now I'm just ready to add my other bead. And that's pretty much it. I can do this continually. Add clasps. I can add things in the middle here if I wanted to have something dangling from these loops. You can do a lot of things with this technique. And as you can see, it's not pulling apart. It is not going anywhere. And that's it for a simple coil. With a little bit of practice, you'll be very good.